Hello, I'm John, and I'm joined by Howard.
Woohoo!
How's it going, Howie, man? Are you enjoying your holiday weekend here?
It was great. I didn't have turkey, which got kind of like upset me, but you know how that works, man. Just take it one day at a
You
time.
wanted the turkey?
Yeah, it's one of those things. You don't eat turkey on a regular basis, but not everyone else eats turkey, so and family, so
I've got some leftovers. I could probably come by.
yeah,
I'll give you this. I got some scraps for you.
yeah. No, but I kind
Bones.
of
Scrape
understand.
off.
I kind of understand everyone else's frustration about turkey because it's just if you don't prepare it correctly, it's just dry and disgusting.
A lot of people don't like it. I heard a guy in the grocery store was going off on the turkey.
What did he say?
He was having a conversation with someone. They were in front of the turkeys and just bashing the turkey. I wish it was like chicken. He kept saying, "Why can't it be more like chicken?"
But you know what? I did. I followed this person, this thing on it will be a person on Facebook. It's called Tasty. I don't know. You can't say it's a person. It's like a bot or whatever.
Okay, it's a robot.
Yeah, and that it's like a collective of people showing like recipes and stuff.
Yeah.
So they did like a Thanksgiving theme, like daily. They were posting like things like how to make like different versions of like pumpkin pie. Like there was a way to prepare a turkey, which I think people don't do, is getting the brining.
Oh.
Because it's such a pain in the ass to do because you have to you got to fill up the pot with water and then I think it's like ice water and you got to put like the seasonings in there and then you leave the turkey in there for like a day or 2 days.
Okay.
So then it soaks all that juice up and then what happens is when you throw it in the oven, it doesn't dry the meat. So the meat stays moist on the inside,
I think you need some turkey, man. Seems like you're really thinking about this a lot, dreaming about the turkey.
Yeah,
We gotta get this man some turkey.
Yeah.
Well, I wish we were having some turkey instead of doing what we're doing here. Although it's always nice to talk to you.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But not really how we want to be spending, your Saturday, I'm sure,
No.
doing this. But, hey, man, sometimes, unfortunately, things got to be done.
Yeah.
But people checking this out, I want to say, put it out there. There's no ads on this video. We've actually created a new channel for this to show, we're not trying to gain viewers or subs or whatever, man. And I'm not looking to subject my subscribers to this horse shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then the other thing too, I'll be completely honest with you. I'm going to throw this out there. I know that I haven't done anything on YouTube, and I apologize to my subscribers. Things have gotten in the way, but I try to regularly come on the show, just to show my fans that I'm here, and I don't nothing on my channel has ever been monetized, and neither do I care. It's something that I enjoy doing,
Well, you need more views, Howard.
Yeah.
How could you be happy if you don't have more views?
So I just want to throw this out there. After everything is said today, if you are somebody that really enjoys my content or me personally, you will continue following me. If you don't, I don't care. I really don't. I'm going to throw this out there. John and I's channel are the only ones that do not get monitored on a consistent basis. I don't sit there and hit block. I don't block people. I don't block content. Whatever you write on the comments stays.
Yeah.
There was a couple of times that I got into arguments with people online under the comments, but I never blocked them. I just left it.
Huh. I see.
So just want to throw that out there.
All right, right on, man. So, like I said, man, I don't want to subject anyone to this that don't want it. But people want to seek it out. It's up there. I feel it's important to get the story out there, man. Exercise some demons and dispel some things that have been said and that are out there,
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, and it's just one thing that we try to avoid, but
Yes.
It gets to a point where it cannot be avoided.
Yeah, exactly. So Basically, this is a response to a lot of things, including a video posted by one Philium 2 days ago, who decided to record himself scolding us like a high school gym teacher, saying that you're immature and you need to learn how to be men.
Yeah.
So, there you go. And the main thing is, like, people really want to know why we don't do anything with him anymore. And he himself, oddly, is saying that he wants to know why, But that video that he put out, I think, is a perfect example of why. So if you really, like, examine it, it's a video he puts out on Thanksgiving Day, which I don't really understand. And last year, Thanksgiving, he decided to unfollow me, which caused some issues. So something with Thanksgiving, I don't know if he's eating something that doesn't agree with him. Maybe he needs to follow your turkey recipe.
Yeah, it really, I think for me, it really started with that, because not only did he unfollow, the way I noticed it was when I was on Twitter, I looked at his people that he was following, and he unfollowed both of us. And there was no really no rhyme or reason to it, which I thought was, I think that was the first shot. I'll be honest with you.
It's weird stuff. Especially when you work and you work hard and stuff, you look forward to certain days off. And like Thanksgiving is a certain day, like with your family and whatnot. And then like to do these things on Thanksgiving, it sounds silly. It is just a day, but you're showing no concern like for the other person. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to cause shit. Like, suddenly you get inundated with messages at people, while you're trying to enjoy a day with your family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I understand completely. I just, there's a lot of, there's going to be a lot of things talked about, and again, we're not here, and we just want to reiterate this. We are not here to defame anyone. This is just to let people know our side of the story, because people have a tendency to just view one thing and not look at it from another way and trying to understand the other party's view on it.
And I'm not angry. Like, I don't know about you. I'm not angry with the guy. We've said before publicly, like, we wish him the best, don't wish him any ill. I hope he, like, makes a ton of cash and has a great life, man.
Yeah.
Why would I not feel that way? What is it? How does that affect me?
Yeah, and going back to what we were saying before, I don't make money off of this, and I don't know about you, John, but it's not something that bothers me. It's just something I enjoy doing.
Yeah, man. Until this point, which is a good, it's been a long time. Until this point, we've not said anything against him because, like I said, I wish him the best. I don't want to hurt him, and saying anything negative about him, I feel could hurt his livelihood. And the other thing is, there's a lot of history. There's a lot of good times, man. There's a lot of really good times. And you kind of you'll piss on a lot of that stuff by doing this. And I feel like things should be kept in-house amongst friends. A circle of trust amongst friends, Howard. Do you believe in such things with people?
No, I wholeheartedly believe in that. And that's why I'm a little ticked off about this, because, it's one of those things where, like, you can't even trust him in terms of, like, sending a message, like a text message, because you don't know if that's going to get publicly put on, like, YouTube, or if he's going to make a video about it. Because it's something, if I send you a message, I don't expect you to the next day or 2 days later or whatever make during your regular vlog sessions, you go ahead and you publicly read the message.
Yeah.
And
that's a great point, because, like, what we're going to be doing today is kind of maybe revealing some things, and I've kind of really held against doing that, because it does make you, in a sense, a hypocrite to be doing the same thing that has caused you pain or caused you, to be pissed off. But it gets to the point, like, enough is enough, man. At this point, it's really jumped the shark, and things have got to be put out there, man. Sadly.
Yeah. Yep.
And the thing that's like, it's another thing that's sad about it is no one listens to this kind of stuff, or listens to, like, him talk about us or us talk about him, and then goes, "Oh, these guys are fucking cool." You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
It's disgusting stuff. It's sad, It's not. You're not creating content. It's freaking garbage content for the bottom of the barrel, man, and that's what it is. But you get dragged into it, unfortunately, you know. So, you know, getting back to his video, it's really full of what's, as I said, it's an example of the problem itself. You know, it's full of what's been a long history of him saying things publicly, out of turn, exaggerating things, or saying just saying shit that's not just not true.
Yeah.
About me, about others, man. So, and again, if people get pissed listening to this, as a consolation prize, if you really think about it, if you're a fan of Phil's, you have to agree that I did, and I know you did to an extent, everything you could to help him over the years. You know, and so much so that to this day, he makes money off of videos that we're in to this day, every day.
Yeah.
Whether it's, 10 cents, whether it's $10, whatever the hell it is. He's making money off the work we did for him every single day. And he's still finding new ways to monetize us based on that video and other things that go on.
Yeah, pretty much. You know. And then I think, I really think that, like, it's really like a testament as to what he held our friendships for, because it seems that the money was more important than us being his friend.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you feel.
Yeah,
that's how you feel.
That's how I feel, because I don't know. There's like a whole bunch of things that we got to talk about, and I don't want to go ahead and go out of turn.
All right,
but,
I got you. Yeah. We'll try to keep this keep this rolling here.
Yeah.
In that video, he says, this is the Thanksgiving video I'm talking about. He says they talked shit about me. I don't know if you caught that part.
Yep.
And I'm not exactly sure what that is in reference to. Now, there was a video I put out, Pay Me Tons, parody, right?
Yep.
And it's a parody, man. I've done parodies in the past. Just to give you a little idea, I've done parodies about machinima. I did a YouTube parody where YouTube was a talking vagina robot that ran YouTube. Yep. I've done GameStop, et cetera, et cetera. It comes out, man. People get a little crazy about it. So 2 weeks later, you and I were doing the show, and we explained it wasn't singling him out. It was about many, many things, and not necessarily in a hateful manner. Like, I think you can make fun of something and really not feel negatively about it at all. Actually,
yeah.
Like Saturday Night Live, Phil Hartman would dress as Bill Clinton. I don't think he wanted to assassinate the president. Right?
Yep.
It's having a good time with something. And that was really my what it was about, man. Now, was he like an inspiration for the character that I was portraying in that? To an extent, But again, not in a malicious, hateful way. It's having some fun with something. But it's not. Again, it's. I think it's hard to say it's directly about one person, right?
Yeah, it was a whole thing. The whole thing was about that. The Pay Me. Wow, Patreon website. And what people do, and then what it is too. It's when you look at it, it's to basically shed light on some of the negativity that revolves around that site, and not only that site, but Kickstarter. Look at all the shenanigans that has transpired in the past few years, where people raise up all this money, promise a product, and then basically everyone's SOL. They took the money and people are fucked. Look at what happened with look at the disaster that Inafune is going out with that Mighty Number 9. That's still not out.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that one. Looking for hopefully it comes soon.
So people make promises and they don't, go through with them, and that's basically what the parody was about,
Yeah, but does that mean I hate Patreon or I hate people that use it or something? No, I really, honestly, if everyone on there, hope everyone gets $1 million a month.
Yeah,
it doesn't affect me in any way. But again, my main thing was looking around YouTube and seeing that no one has done a parody of this. Which is interesting. Is that because, people want to have one, they don't want to make fun of it or something, or, or they'll be called a hypocrite if they have one or something. So I felt like, I could get away with making fun of this thing. Because I'm not looking to really make money on this, or really have the option.
Yep.
So I put it out, and here's a little secret for you. I don't really matter that much on YouTube. It's not a video that got 1 billion views or something, or really, can you really say it affected you in a negative way? And despite all that, we came out and said it wasn't directly about him. We wished him the very best, and just said we're not going to be part of his stuff. And that was that. So I don't see how that's talking shit about, we're talking shit about him. On top of that, after the Pay Me Tons video came out, he publicly said, if John does a skit making fun of Patreon, it doesn't mean he's talking shit about me. I'd like to know.
Yeah.
Where was the shit talk? It's like one of those things where you can just say something in a video. It's like, they talk shit, but you have no examples of this. So people just kind of go, they talk shit. They must have done it.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things that people like. I feel bad because he doesn't know how to let go of things. I guess people like, and this happens with anything. People jam you with stuff on like Twitter, and they prod you and prod you and prod you to try to get a response out of it. And he fell right into the shenanigans.
Yeah, you know what? And we're falling into it right now because honestly,
we're
I think
falling into it right now too because he threw a shot, and then we didn't want to throw the shot, but now we have to throw the shot.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's weird timing. Why did you pick that day at that time? And it's not like we did the show Wednesday and we were like talking shit or there's anything that has to do with them. It's like it's a attempted trolling.
Yep.
It's let me say something. Hopefully they'll respond. Then I could come back with something else, and I create a whole situation of drama around myself. And I think this is what he wanted us to do. This is why I haven't done this ever until now. Despite him, running me down on his forums, on Twitter, on his chat, and like try to do stuff on the sneak. But I catch wind of all this stuff, man. People send me all this stuff.
Yeah,
and the most part, I don't look at it, but with things like this happen, I'll go through and see what's going down. It's an attempt to get something going.
Yeah, and he falls victim to it on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
And he has an issue, like a really big issue with damage control. Mm-hmm. Like he doesn't know how to ignore things.
Yeah.
So this is why we're in the situation that we're in now, is because of that.
Yeah.
There was no need for him to address this. He could have just let it go and that was it.
Mm.
But we'll talk. I don't know if you want to.
3 months after we last spoke about him, in a positive way that we spoke about him. Let's choose just 3 months randomly and just say some stuff.
And then, not only that, every single time we've been out in the field and people have asked us about him, all we do is we don't associate with him anymore, but we wish him the best of luck. Yeah. Remember that guy that we met at the YouTube studios?
Yeah.
It's the same question that we always give the same answer.
Yeah, man.
We're not here to bash anybody, but at the same time, we're not here to take shit from anybody either.
Yeah. There's enough is enough, and we always talk about it. As I always say, hopefully we don't have to do this.
Yeah, we talk about this on a consistent basis. It's
disgusting, it's sad, but here we are, man. So,
yeah.
And again, I'm gonna spill this out. This isn't an attack. This isn't like just an attack. Like this is all the shit that went down. There's things that are out there that he put out there, things other people believe that are not true.
Yeah.
So I have to defend myself. We have to dispel some things. So I want to get into a couple things here, man. So the first one I want to talk about, which is disgusting, man, is money, okay? You ever told, like, you shouldn't talk about money? You ever
Oh, yeah, all the time. All the time.
This is not me complaining about money, because honestly, from my side of things, I know some other people in our circle don't agree. But I believe I was treated fairly with money. But the problem is, info that's been presented to you is not exactly true. So it's something that he says quite often. John got 50%. He got half of everything that we made together, or videos I was in with him, right? And again, Howard, like, why is this something that's said publicly?
This should have
come up with any kind of reason.
There is no reason to say this unless he's lying, or B, he's trying to save face. There is no reason to even address anything about money publicly on a YouTube video.
Yeah, and this is done way before there was any kind of before there was major problems. Just something that's thrown out like, oh, look, I'm a great guy. I'm giving him half the money.
Yeah,
I get. It's not exactly the truth. Okay, so he starts doing YouTube stuff in 2008. I start doing videos with him. We've been hanging out for a couple years before that, playing games. So just kind of transition into now we're going to be playing games, but recording games. And I did this stuff from 2008 when he started YouTube. I did this for probably a couple years for nothing. He signs on with Machinima a few years later, and I had to come to him and ask, because we're still doing videos. I said, since you're getting something for this, do you feel that I should get a percentage of that for my efforts on here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we make an agreement, which will be basically half of the month's co-op income. So what happens is he takes out taxes from that amount and cuts it in half, right? I get half of that. But for instance, like if it's March and we do videos in March, I will get a percentage of what was made in March. That does not include residuals like for months coming up. Like for instance, if those videos make more money in April or June and July, okay, like that doesn't include that. So whatever was made in April for that month, that's what I would get. It does not include streams or whatever other money comes in, right?
Yeah.
This went on for a little while. And again, not exactly 50% if you throw that out there, but this goes on for a little while. Then he says to me, Machinima isn't sending me reports anymore, so I have no idea. Of the amount of money that we're making on the co-op. I have no way of figuring it out. So I can no longer figure out this percentage that we agreed on. So I basically just go, okay, listen, throw me $100 every time I come down. Okay? And the way I come to this number is because round trip, it's about 2.5 hours of driving. Right? I'm there the entire day, and I have to buy a meal at some point. So give me $100 to kind of cover my expense. You also have to consider, these are days like I'm not going to work because my job, and I'm an independent contractor, so I'm not going to work these days. So if you really do the math, with gas and food and wear and tear in your car, $100 every time you come, you're not exactly profiting there. And including not going to or working at a job which will actually make you more money than this,
Yep.
So just to flat out say you got 50%, it's far from true. It's far from the truth there. Like I guess it's half truth. It's a half truth. Is that what you would say?
Yeah, it's a half truth.
So when people want to throw their stuff out there, man, you went to conventions and we paid for things. Again, like you go to conventions, you got to take time from work, which is I'm not getting paid for work. And we went to conventions, he's got an injury. He has a back injury. So I would go and I would carry things. I would film things. I did all the driving, as you know, and do whatever I could to help. I was coming as not. It's not just like, hey Phil, take me on this trip, and I'll fuck around and I'll sit by the pool. Came as basically to assist him in his business, as he likes to call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's not me. That wasn't me complaining about like I should have gotten this, I should have gotten that, or anything else. It's just like, again, it gets out there. He got half of what's made, but there's many more details in there that are not given. Let's get into this, man. I don't spend all day on this. Probably go 8 hours on this topic. Try to keep it down as much as we can. Well, we got to touch on Project 7 because, again, there's things said publicly that kind of need to be, addressed. So, Project 7, man, the version we were involved in. Tell us a little bit like how it started, Howard, man, because those are your guys, the very beginnings of this thing.
Well, basically, we got together and
Well, how do you know Andre and Paul?
Andre and Paul are childhood friends of mine. We grew up together.
Yeah.
And basically, Paul, as we got older, Paul ended up going to a film school, and Andre as well. So Andre went to a film school in California. Paul went to a film school in New York. And right around the time, I had lost contact with them, and then one day I ended up showing up to I just met them. I go to church with them and everything else, and I just showed up at the church and we were talking or whatever, and they were we're talking about YouTube and stuff, and I made mention about that I started doing YouTube stuff, and talked about a little bit about you guys, you and Phil, and they were interested. So prior to me introducing you guys to them, I did a couple of videos with them under I think it was it Respect the Pact at the time, or I think it was Respect the Pact. Yeah, I
remember this is how I remembered. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember you came to me, and you go, I got these two guys, they're my friends.
Yeah.
Grew up together and whatnot. They want to make some videos. Are you interested in doing anything with them? And then I go, thinking about it, I go, let's bring Phil in on this.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. But I think when we, so when we
initially was like, let's do something with these guys. Yeah. And I was like, let's bring Phil in on it. My buddy, and then it was like, what are we going to do? And it wound up being the Project 7 thing.
Yeah, because that was he started Project 7 when, 2009?
It was, I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was a year before, and then we said, let's, why don't we just reboot it?
Yeah.
So it was in a process of that, and, they were on board. Everybody was on board. We were having a great time,
Yeah, it was a great time. And honestly, it was like an experience, not necessarily the videos themselves, but the experience of doing it was like a real big thing for me, man. I learned a lot from Andre and Paul, and I kind of got the bug to oh shit, I want to make movies and stuff like that, thanks to those guys, just seeing what they were doing. So it was a great experience in that, and then it kind of started to slowly erode away. And fall apart, man. I'd say what really punched me in the face, man, that's what it basically was. Right before episode 3 is going to come out, doing my thing. This is going to be a common theme on this recording here, where I'm just kind of doing my thing, doing what I got to do in my daily life, and I start getting messages from people, and I go, "What the hell is this?" So. Right before episode 3 comes out, Phil puts out a video. He's talking about Project 7, whatever, man. And it's just something he often says. He says he'll set it up. I don't mean to badmouth. Don't take this the wrong way. He says, I don't mean to badmouth John Rambo. Don't take this the wrong way. And proceeds to talk about me. Talking about how John was given the best lines. And we gave him things to do. Because basically he's upset that people were in the comments saying that, John's the best part of this, or things like that, So yeah, he makes the video saying John was given things to do. He was given the best lines. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a flat out lie.
Yeah,
flat out lie. He goes on to talk about, still referencing that same video. He talks about a scene that he came up with. He's like, there's a part of the trailer everyone loves with John. I came up with that. And it's interesting because, the sentence before that, he's talking about how it's a group effort.
Yeah, and then he says that he came up with the lines or whatever.
The next sentence is, I came up with that.
Yeah, which is nonsense. And like you said, going back to what you were saying, John, this is a common theme. Yeah. Because again, instead of addressing this, amongst ourselves, he addresses it. he addresses it publicly, which makes it even worse.
Yeah. He doesn't get. There's no call to me. There's no conversation. Like, hey, people are saying this shit. Maybe you could say something, or there's a way to say it differently, or is this something? Honestly, it's not something that even needs to be really addressed at all, because it's basically people saying, "I like this aspect of this show that you want me to watch."
Yeah.
But he talks about a scene in the trailer that he came up with. I came up with that. It's basically the part where I'm shooting the gun like Rambo does. It's not exactly a genius idea, and I think several people suggested it. And when it was actually filmed, it's not like he's not like he was directing the scene. He was actually not even in the room. Okay, it was it was something I did. To put it frank, He talks about a scene that. Oh, the scene where he's like, there's a scene in this episode that a lot of people put together. John wasn't involved in it. Howard and OJ and some other people put it together. Of course, it was the great scene where you, what was it? You shoot the gentleman and then you say, you didn't wash your hands.
Yeah.
Okay. In all honesty, it was put together by you, OJ, and me.
Yeah.
And Andre and Paul filmed it and directed it. So basically, everyone was involved in putting that together but him.
Yeah,
Phil.
But it's just mind-boggling why he would do these things publicly.
Yeah, it's one thing. I mean, let's say all of this is true, like he said. Let's say every word he said is true. Even then, it's fucked up to be saying this.
Yeah.
But not only are you saying it, but it's also a lie.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Okay, let's talk about this. So, on that specific episode, what did I do? Why did I deserve to be treated like that? Okay, I show up, I do the very best I can. I try very, very hard to do my best. I brought OJ into this. I brought Chap into this. Those are people that I went to high school with. I go back a long time. Chap is a professional actor. He played the gaseous snake gentleman. I brought them in, tried my very best, and why is this stuff said? Why does this happen, right? So I'm pissed off, man, at this point. And I think I talked to you first. I think I was ready to be done with the whole thing.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the breaking points for the show to start ending. It was that, and it was that, and then after that,
slowly eroded from there.
Eroded from there, and then the erosion started getting substantially worse.
Because he saw people say, "Oh, John's the best," whatever, and that made him so upset.
Yeah.
Now I'm angry. And what's funny is I think people were trolling because I think he'd made statements like in the past about it, like a little bit, but not to like this degree where he's like, it pisses me off when you say that you shouldn't say John's the best or something. So people start doing it like out of spite, just to fuck with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They might not even necessarily think that. They're just, let me just write this because I know it makes him upset. And then he buys right into all that.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm really pissed off. So I call him. I call him immediately, and I fucking have it out with him, dude. I tell him everything I'm feeling about it. And I'm pissed off. So, to his credit, he apologizes profusely. He says to me that he felt insecure, or he is insecure. He shouldn't have said it. He just got really frustrated with what they were saying, and he just couldn't take it anymore, and he had to say something, and he exploded. So he apologizes to me, and I accept it. But he never actually says anything publicly. There's no public apology. There's no clarification about what he said, how it wasn't exactly the truth.
Yep.
And then what basically happens is there's people that are his fans, and a lot of them not very bright. Let's be honest here. And they start shitting on me. They come at me and they shit on me because they think, oh, fucking, that's what Phil wants me to do, right?
Yep.
He wants me to do that. And again, why did I deserve that?
Yeah.
So continue with Project 7, man. So you said it started to fall apart at that point. What do you think happens? Where do you
started to fall apart? And what was basically happening was These guys were working 50, 60 hours a week on getting this shit edited to try to pump it out with these unrealistic timelines. So naturally what's going to happen is people are just going to get burnt out, which ended up happening. Couple that with the fact, and again, we don't want to talk too much about it, but couple that with the fact with money. You know, these guys are putting all this time and effort into this fucking thing, and what do they get? Gugats. That's what they got. Because when you think about it, right, you would think, oh, because people are, when I say this, people are going to come back and say, well, you know, Phil promoted their channel and that's all they wanted. No. Here's the bottom line, right? You would think out of the kindness of your heart, you would go ahead, damn, man, these guys are putting all this time and effort in this thing.
It's not even kindness, it's just what's fair is fair.
What's fair is fair. Let me throw them a couple of bones. Whatever the case may be, throw them some money here and there, some percentage of the profits, and this and that. So what ends up happening? John and I are talking about this, and John says, I'm going to talk to him. So what does John say? John goes up to him and says, dude, you know, throw him some money, man. These guys, if you throw them some money, they'll continue. If not, they're going to stop.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because like anytime there is a problem, I always do address it right to his face.
Yeah. So
which is not being said now.
What does he say? He has the audacity to say, "Oh, they didn't." I told them, or I asked them if they wanted money, and they denied it. That's a fucking load of shit.
Okay, so
because I talked to them afterwards about it.
All right, so Project 7 was a lot of work for them. I don't think it was much work for us, despite what Phil would talk about how hard the day was.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard for us. It was hard for them.
Yeah, I mean, it was one day of filming. Maybe 7 hours in one day, and then you go home and you're done.
Before you continue, John, just to give you guys an idea of how long it takes to do things. One of the scenes that we did in that part 3 was a bullet scene where we're firing bullets. They told me it took them 4 to 5 hours to do that, just that scene. And that scene was what, 5 seconds? 5 seconds?
Yeah. Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
I know about that. So it gets to a point where it's a lot of work for these guys. They feel like they're not getting anything back. And they're not getting credit. They're not getting, monetized things, nothing. Okay. Something happened. Andre had basically a big life-changing thing. He's having a kid. Okay? Andre's going to have a kid. So they basically say, look, we can't do this anymore. We can't do the Project 7 anymore. It's just not worth our time, man. We got other stuff we got to do. So I had a conversation, like Howard said, I had a conversation with Phil. I said, listen, you have to make it worth their while, man. Throw them money. And I'm not saying throw them like thousands of dollars. At this point, there was already 4 episodes that had come out, right?
Yeah.
Because we did four episodes that had come out. So I said, listen, just divvy up the money. There's 5 people in this. There's only 5 people, the crew and the whole cast, okay?
Yeah.
The video's made a lot of money. If you look at the views, the amount of views, he gets paid on views. It's like $2 for every 1,000 views that he gets. So simply, figure out how much you made off all these videos. I know that Phil spent a lot of money on props and stuff, so subtract all the costs. That's fair, right? Subtract all your costs, then you have a number, and then split it the 5 ways and throw them the cash.
Yep.
And offer that to them. There's no guarantee that they're going to continue with the series, but hey, man, at least try. And that's fair. His response: they don't want money. They don't want any money after this, based on what he says. They told him that. Yeah,
and then I asked them about it, and they said he didn't even talk to them. And this is what I mean. There's no conversation.
Right.
So and then what everyone has to realize is this is like a whole bunch of things that has happened in the past that just irritates people, because now what ends up happening is like, do you value money more than our friendship? Because if that's the case, then why am I even here?
Right.
You know.
All right, so let me ask you: did you get anything out of the Project 7?
First of all, we're going to talk about that. I didn't get shit out of Project 7.
So no one got paid. Now here's the thing: I got paid.
John got paid.
I got my percentage.
Yeah.
There was at that time period. There was a point where my car had broken down, and I needed to get. Actually, I got a used car. I bought another car at that time. So I go, Phil, listen, I'm not coming to your house because I have no car. If you want me to come, throw me my percentage from the Project 7, and I'll use that cash towards a new car. And so I got my money. But there's, 3 other people, you guys, that got zero.
They got zero. Now, whatever. From my end, it's whatever. But this is what burns me, okay? We, in the middle of this whole Project 7 thing, you, myself, and Phil came up with the idea, let's make T-shirts, right? Yeah. So what do we do?
Hold on, let me hit the brakes for 1 second, because we're talking about money, and we should have gotten money.
Yep.
Like you said, it's not about the money, it's like what's fair.
It's what's fair, yeah.
Like you have a job, I got a job. Those guys, no one's homeless here, no one's like destitute, and we're like, oh man, Project 7, we need to make this to pay our bills. Or we need to make videos to pay our bills. It's nothing to do with that. Like, we don't necessarily need the money, okay? And again, it's not millions of dollars here. It's whatever is fair. It's fair. Because as friends, you would expect to be treated with respect. And, you tried hard on this.
But
this is your cut.
Here's the thing.
Since we're a team, as you said, and we all did it together, and, it's not one person, it should be fair and it should be divvied up.
To add on to what you were saying,
yes.
Okay? To add on to that. So, what happens, right? We go ahead. We don't get our cut, which is whatever at this point. But we start showing up to your house, and what do we see? The guy starts buying figurines, starts buying all this ridiculous shit that there's no need to buy. Then we show up to his house one day, and what does he have in the fucking driveway? A BMW. So how the fuck do you think I feel, and how do you think these guys feel after the fact? Is there anything, do you not understand how this burns people when they put all their freaking hard work into this, and you're making all the money and the glory, and none of us ain't making shit?
Yeah, it's more about respect and being fair.
It's about respect, man. You have no respect for your friends, for your family. You don't give a shit about anybody but yourself.
That's and maybe that's not even true. Maybe it's not true, but that's how it comes off.
Yeah.
And that's what you're expressing to other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're not.
How do you think people feel?
You're not thinking about others and how it affects them.
It's the thing is nobody's jealous. Nobody's nothing. It's when people make money. One person makes money off the back of everybody else.
And on top of it, you're putting videos out there. We're going, I did that.
Yeah.
I came up with that, and it's like, no, you didn't. These guys worked hard to put that together.
Worked hard to put that together.
You didn't
yeah.
Actually, come up with that. All right, so let's get back to the shirts thing, dude. Because this is disastrous.
So we get together, and we decide let's make T-shirts. So we all put money together, and I'm gonna throw out the figure. It was about $900.
Okay,
so
I had no idea.
$300 per person. We put the money together. Then we start figuring out. We go to these conventions. We do this, and that. The T-shirts aren't selling. So whatever. I'm going to cut my losses. I don't give a shit. Right? He comes up to us. We're talking about it. He's saying we're not making any money. We sold only a few T-shirts because when you thought about it, once you sold the T-shirts, you were going to make a decent amount in profit. So we're not making any money. So we're just going to have to cut our losses. Whatever. At that point, I accept that.
Mm-hmm.
Now. He leaves here. He leaves Connecticut and he moves to Seattle. He gets to Seattle. He starts doing this Project 7 reboot thing that he's doing, making videos, doing all this stuff. Then I start finding out that he's reselling T-shirts. or he's giving them out.
It was for his Patreon.
For a Patreon.
As far as I understand, I could be wrong here, so if I'm wrong, please correct me.
Yeah.
Anyone out there, but for his Patreon, it's you give a certain amount of money. I think maybe it's $40 or $50. Then you will get one of the shirts.
Yep.
But the problem is he doesn't actually own the shirts completely.
Yeah, he doesn't own the shirts completely, so he's giving them out. Now, I don't know if he finished giving them out or if he managed to sell all of them, or if he sold them, or whatever the case may be. But when I start hearing about stuff like that, or I see videos of him posting that stuff, naturally, what do you think is going to happen? I'm going to get irritated beyond belief. Yeah. Now,
yes,
I don't want to go. I'm not going to go into it because now if I go into what I'm going to go into, it's going to derail everything.
All right, hold on.
So
stick with the shirt. So okay, listen. So he's taking shirts that your face is on the shirt.
Yeah.
He has to physically look at your face as he packages the shirt and then mail it as he goes to mail it, and never for a second thinks, wait a minute, this person paid for a percentage of the shirt.
Yep.
And on top of that, the logos, the actual shirts are made by Andre. He's not getting anything.
Nope.
At one point, the shirts were in OJ's house.
And OJ was the one that was packing it and sending it to the people.
There was a point where that we only sold one or two. So I don't want to go nuts with that. But yeah, at one point OJ was actually he had them physically. He had them in his basement for months, and I think at one point Phil just said throw them out. And we didn't do it. I was like, no, don't throw them out. Maybe you could just give them away. I was like, give them away like as a prize or something someday, So when he moved, he asked for them back. And I was like, all right. So I got them from John, picked them up, brought them to his house. I didn't really think about it. And then, yeah, here you go. So now he's actually using them as an incentive to give him money or whatever the hell it is, And I'm sure his response will be something like, I don't remember that you paid, or I don't know. Are you never? Maybe he'll say you never brought it up to me but you shouldn't have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you shouldn't have to now.
You really shouldn't have to call him and go, Phil, give me the money from my percentage of the shirt.
Yeah. Now, the way that I look at it for now with this, it's a wash, and this is why it's a wash. Actually, it's not really a wash when I look at it like this, because of what he had told me. And this goes back to what we were talking about before, about him detracting statements, right? So let's rewind before Project 7. So what do? We start playing ST, right? We start buying the cabs. So you and I, and just to throw this information out there, the way this thing started was John and I decided to buy a cab, right? The cab shows up. In the middle of this, right? He comes, Phil shows up and he's like, yeah, we're at his house and we're looking at some of his stuff and I found a Super Turbo board. He has a blue one. So we're like, I didn't know you had a Super Turbo board and this and that. And he goes, I don't even know if this thing works anymore. So we plug it in. We go to the house. We bring it over to the house. We plug it in. It's dead, right? So CPS2 has a battery. The battery dies. The board dies. So he goes to me. He's like, man, I can't really do anything with it. You can keep it. If you can fix it, just keep it, right? So what do? I got a friend of mine that lives in Manchester, right? He goes, I call him up. I met him online, Bill. And Bill goes, yeah, just come by. I'll revive the board, right? So I throw him I think it was like $30 or $40, right? He goes, revives the boards for me, rewrites the EPROMs, gets rid of the battery. Board works fine, right? Mm-hmm. So one day he comes up and we start playing ST. I said, I managed to get that board up and running. All right, so when are you going to give it back to me? You just told me you're going to give me the fucking board. What do you mean give it back to you? What, are you out of your mind? I just paid $40 to revive this, and you think I'm going to give it back to you? Okay. Mm-hmm. So and then right after what happens, the T-shirt thing happens.
Yeah.
So you know what I say? Fuck it, I ain't giving you shit back. So I'm keeping a board, right, for the T-shirt, for the $300 that you owe me in fucking T-shirts.
Huh.
There you go.
Right. That's the thing. Like, you shouldn't have to go to your friend consistently and bring up, like, why did you say this? Please give me the money you owe me. This isn't fair.
Yeah.
It puts you in a terrible position to have to keep doing that, and it's tough.
But then it gets to a point where you just get irritated because the guy don't give a shit about you or anyone else. That's what's irritating the most, man. So, again, since I'm addressing things that have been said publicly and giving you my side, some other things that happened over the years, man. I'll get into this quickly. Some things started going down, man. More of him, again, like I said earlier, exaggerating things, putting words in my mouth, whatnot.
So there's a situation that goes down where it involves, of all things, Howard, Mario Party.
Oh, God.
Involving Mario Party. So people were going out there and saying, because we were doing a lot of co-ops, they're like, we want to see you play Mario Party with John. We want John and Phil to play Mario Party. Please play it. Phil decides he wants to play it with his girlfriend, which is perfectly fine. I really don't care. It's perfectly cool. And just to put it out there, I have no problem with his girlfriend. I've met her a couple times. She was very nice to me. I got nothing bad to say. She's cool people to me. Okay? Whatever. So he wants to play with his girlfriend. He makes a video where he says that John doesn't want to play Mario Party. John likes gritty, mature type games. He doesn't want to play that. I'm going to play it with my girlfriend. It's flat out lie. I was up for playing whatever he wanted to play, especially if people wanted us to play it. And, to prove my statements correct, and to support them, look at the stuff that we did play. So much crazy stuff, all the Kinect games, Kung Fu Riders, or whatever else, man. Whatever he wanted to do, whatever the people wanted us to do, I would certainly do it.
Oh, yeah. I could do a testament to that because you and I played some really shitty games, man.
And it's hard to dispute that. So I draw the line of Mario Party, but everything else is fine.
Yeah.
So what happens is he says, John doesn't want to play that, And this is something that people are asking for, so what happens, the common theme, people get pissed at me. And I start getting, while I'm going about my business during the day, I start getting messages, and people are pissy. Oh, it's not mature enough for you, you big-nosed piece of shit. Maybe not exactly that, but along those lines, man.
Oh, man.
And again, I bring this up to his attention because he wants to talk about how, you're supposed to say things that you feel if you're a man and whatnot. So as I've already given you several examples, here's another one. And I tell him what's up. He apologizes, just like the several times before that. And it starts to click, If someone just keeps saying sorry when they do something, they're not really apologizing, right? If apologizing isn't just words, it's I will not do this thing again because I feel bad about it. If you keep doing the thing, it's not actually an apology. What do you think about that?
No, I agree with you 100%. And it seems as if it's like a common theme where he wants to do something or somebody keeps, like I was telling you, man, he falls right victim to it all the time. Somebody keeps prodding him through social media or whatever for X, Y, and Z, and he falls right into the trap.
Yeah.
And it happens every single time. He could have just been up front and said, well, I want to play Mario Party with my girlfriend, and that's it.
But he wants to look, I have to make myself look good.
Yeah,
I'll blame it on John.
I'm going to blame it on John.
That big-nosed piece of shit. He did not say that. I'm not saying that. I'm just joking there. But, that's exactly what it is, Yeah. Oh, here's my scapegoat that I could get out of the situation. Because if I play with her, people are going to thumb down the video or something, or be mad that John's not there, so he didn't want to play it, right?
Yeah.
Let's get into some stuff here. Basically from when he moved. In the Thanksgiving video that he put out, his timeline is completely fucked. He talks about how we had plans in the fall. He was going to move. He moved in June. And John and I had plans in the fall. We were to start doing stuff. Now, on this same channel that he's saying these things on, there's videos from that time period where he's talking about doing stuff in that summer. So his timeline is screwed, man. It's not true. There was no plan to wait till the fall or anything like that. Basically, what he said was after he moves in a couple weeks, we'll start doing things. So he moves in June. Things are fine. I actually go there and help them move some stuff out. Mm-hmm. And okay, let's get into this. So no, I'm not upset that he moved. Okay, and I'm angry or jealous or something, or I got left behind or something like that. If someone's moving, by the way, I've said this to him. I've said this publicly on the show. Right before he moved, he was on the show with me. If someone is moving or making a change in their life because they feel it will improve their life, I support that 100%. Just like I've always supported him 100%. You know? Or anyone, man. Howie, if you told me you're moving to Iceland tomorrow because it's going to give you a better life, I'm going to be over there helping you pack, dude.
Cool.
You know, how could you feel otherwise? And that's my take on that, man. Have you had friends that moved away? Do you hate them for doing that?
No, still talk to them and everything else. And and going back, I wanted to touch a little bit on that whole moving thing. I was a little upset. I was very upset at the fact that he sent me a text message like last minute asking me to do like a co-op with him. And basically, actually, let me retract on that. Basically, I think what ended up happening was I got caught. Like, he sent me a text message. I agreed to it. And I think I got caught in like a jam with something.
Uh-huh.
And I told him, I'm like, dude, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. I got some stuff going on and this and that. And basically, he makes me feel like shit. Mm-hmm. Because he writes back, he goes, well, if you don't show up, it just basically solidifies the fact that we're not friends.
Wow.
And, dude, he made me feel like shit. Like, seriously, like shit.
Yeah.
So what I said was I was something I had to do with Jasmine. And I told Jasmine, I go, listen, I'm just going to go, I'm going to end up going to this thing. The guy's leaving. And, whatever. So we go, we do our playthrough or whatever, right? So he goes ahead after the fact, never sends me a text message. Doesn't call me, doesn't ask me how I'm doing.
From when he moves.
From when he moves. So from that point, I sent him a couple of text messages here and there. And I'm going to go into something, John, because this basically goes in line into what we were talking about.
Yep.
So I sent him text messages, some random ones, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, doesn't reply back. So I thought that he changed his number.
Okay, so he moves in June.
Yeah.
You never hear from him again, basically.
So I never hear from him again. So
after him saying to you, if you don't come here, then you're solidifying that we're not friends. And
we're not friends, right?
Then he moves and there's no communication at all.
So December 29th rolls around last year.
Yeah, 2014.
And I get in 2014, and I get a message from Chris and a few other people that Scott passed away.
Yeah, I start getting messages from Chris, and you called me as well.
Yeah.
So you should set it up because it has to do with the Street Fighter community.
It has to do with the Street Fighter community.
Which is a group of people and we don't talk every day to everybody.
Yep.
But it's a group of people that is kind of like a brotherhood, if you will. It might sound silly, but that's what it is to us. It's a brotherhood of people that spend a lot of time together playing games and traveling and whatnot. And when something like this happens, everyone contacts each other and we talk about it.
And we talk about it. So
because one of the brothers is fallen.
Yeah. So basically, Scott and what people fail to realize is Scott is a very old school player. Old school player in the sense the guy was playing since like World Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the true fucking road warrior.
The true OG.
True OG to the point that, just to throw this out there, if you guys, if anybody that's on this video ever goes and looks this up, the video of Daigo going from the first time Daigo ever showed up in the U.S., and this was for an Alpha 3 tournament in the 90s. Alpha 3 or Alpha, I think it was Alpha 3.
Mm-hmm.
And he flies from Japan, and the Japanese media are following him around. And this is when he was going to play in this tournament, and he fought, his opponent was Alex Valle, when Alex Valle was in his like teens.
Okay.
In the video, if you look in the video, fucking Scott's there. Now, Scott fucking went from Connecticut to fucking California to play Alpha 3. Okay?
Yeah.
He's a fucking OG.
Yeah.
He doesn't play anymore, but you got to give the guy respect for the accomplishments that he made in the Street Fighter community for the area that we live in.
Okay.
So the guy passes away, right? So what do? I sent him a message.
And you're the only one, by the way, because I wasn't going to contact Phil because I wasn't talking to him at this point.
Yeah.
Nobody else wanted to talk to him. But Howard here, who hasn't heard from Phil at that point, many months since he moved, you decide I'll be the one to tell Phil.
Yeah, so I send him a message, and I go, I didn't say anything hi or anything like that. The only thing, because the last time I did that, he didn't reply back to me. I said, hey, Scott passed away. That's all I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't reply back to me. Then, this is what fucking burns me, okay? Yeah. This shit fucking burns the fuck out of me. What does the guy do? A week or two later, makes a video about Scott passing away. Dude, don't fucking publicize somebody's death. Are you fucking serious? You don't do that, man.
And the bigger issue is, like, he never said anything back to you.
Doesn't say anything back to me, but dude, don't publicize.
Oh, thanks for the information. I'll put this in the video, but I'm not going to say nothing to you.
Not only that, what does he do? He brings up T, right? Now, T at the time was like one of the greatest Street Fighter players in our area. If he was alive, he probably would have been one of the top players in the country, okay? And he starts fucking talking about this guy, right? So what does that do? Naturally, in our circle of friends, everybody is fucking fuming because there was no need to bring up T. There was no need to bring up Scott. There's no need to bring up people's deaths and publicize it and make money off of it. There's no need for that, man. And he did. You have no respect for people that are alive, that for fucking people that are dead. You don't give a shit about anybody but yourself.
So there you go.
Yeah. This is what dude, if one of my friends died, I wouldn't be making a video about it. I wouldn't be publicizing their death.
Yeah.
It's terrible, man. Terrible.
Yeah, it's dirty business, man.
It's dirty.
It's dirty.
After that, I don't fucking talk.
That was it for you.
That was it for me, man.
Yeah.
That was it for me.
Okay. Yeah, that'll do it. Jeez.
I'm sorry for being so angry about it, but this burns me, man, because it's things like this that we should even be avoiding.
Yeah. And like his whole thing will be to retort to you. His response will be that, oh, you should have told me that you feel it, but you did. It's like, it's again, it's back to the apology thing. It's, you could tell someone so many times, right? And they apologize, but they keep doing the same behavior over and over. At a certain point, you realize this is who they are. They're not going to, they're not really apologizing. They're not really going to change.
No,
this is how it is. And you have to make the decision, like, do I want this in my life or not? You know, which is affecting you in a negative way.
Yeah, it affected all of us in a negative way. And I'm at a point in my life, I'll be completely honest with you, where I'm getting older, and I'm starting to realize things more and more. And one of the things that I cherish in my life now are the people that are around me, man.
Absolutely. I mean, what else is
that?
That
is what I cherish.
That's all that matters, man.
I don't care about games. I don't care about, about what I have. That doesn't.
If you had millions of dollars right now, but you had no one around you, you had no family or friends, but you had all the money, what is that a good life?
No, it's not.
I don't know.
It's not.
Yeah.
He moves away, which, like you said, at this point, it's your decision. We support you.
Absolutely.
Hope you do well in your endeavors.
I hope everyone does well.
But what happens? He leaves and he doesn't contact us. And the only reason and I hate to say this, it feels like the only reason he contacted you, John.
I get contacted. So I'm not gonna say you were not contacted.
But why does he contact you? It's not because he wants to see how you're doing. It's to do playthroughs so he can make money.
Yeah, we'll get into this. So let me speak on this a little bit. So going back to his Thanksgiving video, he says there's a lot of rumors about why we're not doing stuff. And he goes, it's definitely not about the money. And it's not about me revealing something personal. It's definitely not that. But it could possibly be that I just moved and they're resentful about that.
Yeah.
So it could be that one, I guess, because that doesn't make him look bad in any way. Well, that's funny. So anyway, he moves. What he told me is in a couple of weeks, when he's settled, he's going to contact me and we start doing stuff. So a couple of weeks go by. He starts contacting me about things. And quite frankly, he's being pushy about it a little bit. I need to, let's do it. When do you want to do it? This weekend? What time this weekend? Is getting really kind of hammering out a date, kind of pressuring. And I think at one week we even had a date to record something, but I canceled on him because I was going through a very difficult period at this point, and I had every intention and desire to do stuff with him. At this point, I had basically destroyed myself, Howard. As you know, I talked to you about it, and that's not me complaining, because being a man, if you're talking about being a man, I feel like being a man is you make choices, and then you deal with the consequences, right?
Yeah.
You don't run to complain online or cry about what the world owes you all these things. You deal with what you got to deal with, man. So I basically had a lot. I basically had a lot happening. I had really run myself into the ground, sacrificing a lot of things. Doing his content too. I was working on the episode, Sean's Made a Whole Bunch, episode 9. There's a lot of work. I was doing stuff with Phil as well. And like I said, my job is I'm an independent contractor. I work in real estate. You have to go out on your own and do things to find work. Like you don't just show up for 8 hours and you get a check. It's not how it works. Yeah. I wasn't doing a lot of real life things because I was sacrificing to make something I believed in and had desire to do. That was my own choice. Okay, I'm not complaining about it. But I was in a bad spot. It was winding down. I had to start figuring out real life things. So I basically told him, listen, when I need to finish this episode, it's almost done. Okay, I need to figure some things out. When I'm done, I will contact you and we can do things. Okay? I actually didn't do my own show, the show. I didn't do it for all of July because I was doing precisely that. I was trying to figure things out. And I didn't do much of anything else. I was working on my stuff, man. Getting things done. So I'm finally done with the episode in August. August 13th, it comes out, which is a Wednesday. And I'm pretty burnt. I immediately decide I'm going to go on vacation for a couple days. So I go to Twitter and I say, thanks everyone for watching the episode. I'm going into the woods for a while. I'll be back soon. I went to Bear Mountain, Howard. Have you ever been?
Yes, I have.
You have?
Yes, I have.
So I went to Bear Mountain. I camped out in the woods. I unplugged everything. There's no phone. There's nothing. Okay? Kind of like detox, man. Staring at a computer screen for, at that point, a long time.
Wow. I never knew about this.
I did this again this year. I do this every year now.
Okay.
So I didn't put a message. I didn't contact him and say, the episode's out, because, like I said, there was an agreement that we talked about where I said, when I'm ready to do stuff, I will let you know. It should be soon. But the episode comes out. I put on Twitter, I'm going away. He notices while I'm gone, he notices the episode comes out. So while I'm away, he starts throwing me messages again. I'm not around to respond to them. So that weekend, he makes a video, one of his videos that he puts out. He says, I've been trying to reach John, but he won't respond to me. Okay? I come back from my trip. I got messages from him. I got messages from other people saying, why the fuck won't you talk to Phil? Phil's upset. And I'm kind of pissed about that, Howard.
Yeah, you should be.
So I'm kind of pissed about this. I don't contact him. I basically say, look, I'm gonna keep holding him to what I said weeks ago, which is when I'm ready, I'm gonna do stuff. I will contact him. The following week, I get more messages. They mostly are like, how are you doing? And then as soon as you say good, then immediately goes right into the videos. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. It's like a setup, and then videos. Videos. Are we going to make the videos? Let's do some videos. I need to tell people when we're making the videos. Let's do some videos. I don't respond to any of these messages because, like I said, I'm in kind of a bad spot. The episode had come out. Now I'm kind of like, all this time is kind of freed up. So I'm piecing my life back together, putting things back together. And I got things going on that actually matter beyond making videos with him. Okay? So I eventually get a message from him in the middle of the night, Howard. And it wakes me up because I'm sleeping. And I'm pissed off because I have to work the next morning. So I believe I woke up, I'm pissed off, go back to sleep. I remember waking up the next morning and very quickly responding to this in a very nondescript text response, which was basically, please count me out for a while. I'm looking to move. I'm trying to get money together to move. YouTube isn't going to help with that, which is in reference to doing stuff with him. Okay, because my stuff that I was doing isn't monetized, and I'm not looking to, I wasn't looking to make money with that as my creative outlet. And I said, I'm around most nights, please call me. Okay? So, Howard, I'm thinking the next day, Phil will call, right?
Yep.
Because I basically expressed I'm having a tough time, and I said, please call me. So I'm thinking the next day is I'll get a call and we'll talk about things. What I would have told him was, hey man, I need 2 or 3 months to get my stuff together, to get, healthier and actually go to work and undo some damage, which is, again, I did by choice. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
But instead what happens, Howard, is I'm going about my business the next day. I get a text from the Air Raid Lord. And he says, sorry to hear about what happened. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, I'm sorry to hear that you're leaving YouTube. I start getting other tweets from various people with similar sentiments.
Wow.
So I go, what the hell's going on here? So I go right to his channel, and I see that Phil did not actually call me. He instead made a video, a monetized video, by the way, where he publicly reads the text out loud for whatever reason. He goes on to give me a bunch of compliments and then kind of buries me after that, which is a weird mixture that he likes to do sometimes. It's okay if I speak negatively because I complimented you first, so it's okay, right? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
He does the same thing where he goes, I'm going to be honest with everyone. That usual spiel. He talks about how John's giving up on YouTube. He doesn't want to do stuff on YouTube anymore. He kind of implies like I'm upset about views. I'm not getting enough credit or views or money, and very far from my feelings on things.
That's awesome.
I don't think it's very hard to make the argument that I tried to make a living on YouTube or I tried to make money on YouTube. Okay, the stuff I put out is not going to reach a lot of people. It's not really possible. It's a 2-hour podcast, which is weird. It's a web series that's weird. It's very different than taking a video game that millions of people know about. It's advertised and doing a playthrough. People could find you in a search. And like for my stuff, I know what the ceiling is. Like the first Sean's Made a Whole Bunch episode, however, is like 20,000 views. Yeah. That's my ceiling. It's not 200,000, 2 million, 20,000. I then spent the next 3 years making more of those, knowing what that ceiling is. It's never a goal to get fame or money. It's like, this is what I like to do. This is what I want to make, The show, we've done, almost 200 episodes. We know what the ceiling is.
Yeah, exactly.
So I get all these messages from people saying, I always liked your content. Sorry to hear you're leaving.
Wow.
In the same video, he talks about how he's the exception. I'm the one in the million that can do this, that can make it. Well, congratulations, man. Again, we don't make the same type of content. And he refers to himself as the realest motherfucker on the internet when he's spewing misinformation, when he could have just called. And by the way, Howie.
Yep.
He has never actually called me to this day, which is 15 months later. Well, maybe 13 months. He's never actually called.
Yeah.
And in this video, he said, I'm going to call him. He's never actually called me.
Yeah. Now, do you want, I don't know. I just, why don't you roll into the next bit?
All right, hold on. So,
yeah.
I feel like as a friend, you would call and you say, what's going on? Is there something I can do to help you out? Which is what you did. We would talk, right?
Yeah.
And you would check in once in a while.
I called John maybe once a week just to see how he's doing.
And I would tell you, this is what's going on, and
Yeah.
It's not like that's not that you could fix the situation. I'm not looking for someone to be like, I'm going to fix your problems. It's, talking it out, right? Let you know I support you, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's that. And I want to talk about this. He'll often say, I'm the realist. I'm the most, here's honestly this. Here's the truth of the matter. When people do that, they're usually doing it for a reason. It's usually because they're not telling the truth. If every time you spoke and you go, here's the honest truth of it. Let me be honest with you for a second. I'm the most honest. I'm the realist. That's a warning sign.
Yeah, big one.
Because why you feel the need to say that?
Yeah.
On his Thanksgiving video, he talks about, I have no idea what I did wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. If you go to that video from August where he's reading my text, there's random people in the comments, man, and on Twitter and whatnot, that don't know Phil personally, don't know me personally, well before there's a problem, that there's an obvious problem between us publicly. There's people that are saying, maybe you shouldn't read someone's text out loud like that.
Yeah.
So there's random people that will watch and immediately go, why are you reading someone's text out loud? Obviously, it's a private message. Why are you doing that? But here we are all these months later, and he still has no idea. But random people can figure it out immediately after watching the video.
Yep.
So that was pretty much it. That kind of broke the back right there, man, because again, you had up all the stuff in the past, which many times saying things publicly that's saying things publicly about me that's not true, and then saying please don't do that. And here we go, like the biggest infraction of all, in my opinion. It's a big thing for me, man. Trust, because how do you really be friends with someone if you can't trust them? How do you tell them things? Part of a friendship is kind of like the intimacy of it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You share things about your feelings or family or whatever. Hell, that's it's gone. It's gone right there, man. So I don't respond to it. I don't say anything publicly. My reaction is basically like, all right, he said he's going to call me. In that video, he actually says he's going to call me. Let's see if he calls.
So in the interim, I'm going to roll into this one. In the interim, in the middle of this, he starts sending text messages. First, he starts with John, starts sending John these text messages, like in the middle of the night. So now, when you do the math, right, John starts getting text messages at 6 o'clock in the morning. That means it's like 2 o'clock in the morning there. So now, when you start reading them, you start looking at it, and it doesn't make any sense why he's even texting. And it's not even coherent. So you start wondering if the guy was... like, if he's been drinking and texting.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's really weird. So, basically, I call John up, and John goes, yeah, he's texting me. It's really weird, and he keeps texting me, and I'm not responding back, and, and like, when he texts, like, he's sending these messages, like, he does feel sorry on one end, but and then he says something that like later that contradicts it completely. So
you just get to the point where like this is not good to have in my life.
Yeah, it's not
sad
good to
because
have. Yeah,
it doesn't mean you hate the person. It doesn't mean that you wish them ill. It's like you hope they could fix whatever they got going on.
Yeah.
But they're just doing too much damage to you and themselves,
Yeah, and then you look at it and you're like,
that's what it's like.
There's no consistency there's no rhyme or reason, no consistency to what he does. So, and then John goes like, just get ready because you're probably going to get a text message. So, a few weeks ago, what does he do? He texts me. Yeah. And it's weird because he starts off with like, hey,
so I heard you hate me now or something.
Yeah.
Like, based on what,
hey, man? I haven't talked to you in a while. I hear you and John both hate me now.
Yeah.
No one. I haven't talked to this guy in like. Is
there someone telling him the wrong things? I don't know. Maybe there is.
I haven't talked to this guy since he left The day that he left, that was the last time I talked to him.
Yeah, there's rewinding a bit. So after he does the video with the text message and all that, he did a pre-stream like the following weekend where he says like stuff with John had kind of become stale anyway. It was basically an attempt to be like, the entire thing was basically like to write me out, you know, for no reason. Because like if he just called, I would have told him, hey man, give me like a month or two. But it was an attempt to kind of write like, we don't need John anymore. He's a fucking loser. He's got all problems, and you know we don't need him. We're gonna keep going with watch my stuff. Got very defensive, like almost like I was doing something wrong to him, when I really wasn't.
Yeah,
I did not wrong him by not being able to do his content. There's a video, man, that somebody sent to me, okay, which was taken from one of his streams, dude. So he basically was talking about me around this time period. Maybe it was like August or September. And he's going off about how John lives with his parents. John lives in the middle of nowhere. He's got all these problems. And it was usual, yeah, it was like what I was saying. Like, we don't need that fucking loser around here, you know. He didn't specifically say the loser part, but he did say the other stuff. But here's the thing. He doesn't know anything about my house, who I live with. He has never been to my home. He's never expressed interest in doing that. He doesn't really know who's in my life or anything about the situation. And again, saying things like that on a public stream. Yeah. Someone that's supposed to be your friend. So I contact him after this, immediately after, sent him a text message, because he wants to say that no one ever expressed any problems, or I don't ever heard of any problems of John having with me. So I sent him a text to say, I caught wind that you're saying very private things. By the way, you know, not true things, lies about me in one of your streams. I expect that you will not be posting that to YouTube. I hope that you will not be uploading that to YouTube. So he didn't respond. And I do not believe that he did. I don't think he did actually post it. You know, it was one of those like pre-stream things. But again, it's like, what is going on here, man?
Yeah.
The next time I hear from he asks, would you like to be on Hate Live? Which I tell him I can't do. He gets kind of frustrated about it, and I kind of listen, man, I'm doing my own show this week. Like, I'm not available to do that. You know, it's basically like every interaction has to eventually do with videos and stuff, man. He talked about the Thanksgiving video. He talks about, like, we were talking about shows and stuff. It'll be a message like, hey, you're watching Gotham. And I'll be like, yeah, it's pretty decent. And then it'll just immediately turn into, yeah, let's record this weekend.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what are you thinking, man? You know, and I'll admit there's many texts he sends which I just don't respond to, because how do you trust it, man?
Yeah.
How do you trust this isn't going to become something that's I got to talk about in a video now?
Yeah,
See, John's
much.
talking to me all the time,
and that's one. And that's one of the reasons why I was reluctant to why I didn't reply to that text message, because I looked at it and said, well, if John went through this nonsense with him going ahead and posting these text messages on or reading these things on his vlogs, then what's it going to keep him from doing it with me?
Or if you respond, it becomes like, oh, Howard's talking to me. What the fuck, John's?
Yeah. So why even put myself in that predicament? That's why I didn't even bother texting him back. I just left it like that. But and then, like I said, he writes these text messages, sends text messages to John, then sends me a text message, and then what does he do right after? He goes ahead, he posts a video.
Yeah, this was maybe 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, and then what does he do? This week he goes and posts this video on Thanksgiving.
So yeah, 2 weeks ago we both got texts like the middle of the freaking night while we're
middle of the night. I got this text message. It was like 4:30 it was 5:30 in the morning. So that was like, I think it was like 3 in the morning over there, 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I look at it and I talked to John and I said, you know, I really think he's drinking.
He basically, these texts, I'm not going to go word for word because that's what happened to me. I'm not going to do that, but he basically expressed that he wants to kind of work things out.
Yeah.
But he really doesn't, because you saw what he did on Thanksgiving. So it was basically like an ultimatum kind of thing. Like, if you don't fucking talk to me, respond to me right now, then I'm going to go publicly and try to fuck you, publicly.
Yeah.
So you're not really apologetic if you're doing that. You're not really trying to make things right. And you're really not hurt by the situation. Okay? And like, if you and I had a problem, Howie, which you never know.
I know, right?
And I felt really bad that you're not speaking to me. I'm probably not going to make the things worse.
No,
by saying shit like whatever he said, the insults that he said in a public video.
Yeah, and
it's almost like he's always got to try to save face. I'm the winner. There's no winner in this situation, man.
And I would try to address it personally versus doing it the way he does. And personally, I'll be completely honest with you, John. I really think that he watches too much WWE, because it feels like, no, I'm not lying, dude. It feels like, if it really feels like he tries to make his channel like that, where it's full of drama. It's all drama, just to try to create controversy so that he can get more views.
Yeah, and we're feeding into it right now.
And we're feeding into it right now.
Like I said, he's still finding ways to monetize us after all this time, but
yeah.
Let's bring up that. So WWE Smart Guys, man. People often ask him, like, "Are you doing Smart Guys?" And he'll just throw me under the bus. Like, it's up to John. It's 100% on him if we'll do it. I got some text from him from last summer where he's basically like, "Let me know when you want to do Smart Guys, so I'll start watching wrestling again." So what that says to me is, like, you're not really a fan of it. You don't really watch it. You will watch it if you could make a video about it, and you're going to make a video about it because you want to monetize a video.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just really weird, like I'll start watching when you let me know that we're going to do the we Otherwise, I'm not going to fucking look at it, I don't know. Let's go with Thanksgiving last year, man. I'm just trying. We only got maybe a couple things here left just to get out of here. Not ruin the entire day here.
Yeah.
Because life is good, man. If you let life be good, there's a lot of great things you could be doing with yourself.
Oh, exactly.
So, yeah, on the Thanksgiving video that he put out this year, he talks about how last year he was not invited on the Black Friday show that we did for 2014. Never mind the fact that OJ wasn't actually there either. Does that mean that, I hate OJ? It was actually just you and I, actually.
Yep.
And he also doesn't bring up the fact that last year on Thanksgiving, is when he decided to unfollow me on Twitter. Which again, like, it's a day you're supposed to be with your family and friends and whatnot, and causes me to get a bunch of shitty messages, just like this year. It causes you to get a bunch of shitty messages and cause problems, and drama that you don't need, man, that you're not looking for and don't deserve, really. So there's something out there where people will be like, people are saying John unfollowed Phil on YouTube, but the fact of the matter is I never actually followed him in the first place, so I didn't unfollow him. I also didn't follow OJ and Howard. I didn't follow any of you guys on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't actually follow him and then consciously unfollow him. That's like very fourth grade nonsense, which he has done. He doesn't follow. I still follow him on Twitter, actually, because I'm not going to go through the trouble of unfollowing someone like I'm third grade. But he has unfollowed all of us in all things.
Yeah.
Okay.
He like I said, he threw the first stone. So now he's wondering why we don't talk to him. And then, when you start looking at some of the underlying issues, you'll realize why.
It's a freaking circus, man.
It's a circus.
He's doing the Patreon. We talked about the shirts.
Yep.
Says we're just kind of emptying the barrel here,
Yeah.
A couple months ago, maybe it was September or August of 2015, this year, he put out a montage of a co-op playthrough that we did and put ads on there. And it's pretty obvious that, like, I don't want to do anything with you or be associated with you. And then just let me put out a video that's got John in it, so I could put ads on it.
Wow.
You know, and why would you? Well, I can see why you would do it, but again, like there's obviously some problems with the relationship. Why do you think that's a good idea?
Wow.
On top of other nonsense, man, he talks about behind my back on his forum or elsewhere, and I always catch wind of it, man. People throw it my way, and it gets to a point where it's too much, man.
Yeah, and then you figure if you don't, because then what happens is you don't go ahead and address it. And we were trying to avoid addressing this for a long time. But like I said, he goes and makes a video, and then he starts with the shit again with, making a video, trying to, and like I say it all the time, and a lot of other people say it, he's terrible at damage control. Terrible. Yeah. And sometimes when he addresses things, it makes it ends up being even worse than what it really was.
And I think we probably didn't even have to do this.
Yeah.
Because when someone says like it's 100% on their side, I did nothing wrong. Like no one believes that.
No, yeah, exactly.
Maybe some people do, but most people are like smart enough to be like, wait a second, that's really.
Yeah.
Like these other people we just lost our minds and became these fucking heinous villains, and it's usually not how the real world works, man. Yeah, maybe you're out to some of that WWE thing. I think you might be out to something with that philosophy.
No, and I like I said, you can tell just even from the beginning, why, like even from his name, like the King of Hate, and it's like he enjoys that, he lives by that, and it's like. I understand if it's like a facade for like YouTube or whatever the case may be, but like when you're doing these things in real life to people that are close to you, then you start questioning whether or not if it's a facade or if it's the real you.
And look, man, at the end of the day, he didn't kill anybody.
No, he didn't.
He doesn't deserve to be put in prison or something or crucified or anything like that. I have no hatred towards him. I wish him the very, very best. I feel like everything we addressed here today is just stuff that's been put out there that needed to get the other side of it. A lot of misinformation. And that stuff, that'll piss you off, man. People say things about you that aren't true enough times. You gotta get your story out there. I think there's people out there that probably still won't believe or will deny things that were said here today.
Yeah,
so
it's
whatever,
it's not,
man.
And it's not going to matter anyways, because no matter how you look at it, you got to live by that philosophy. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. And that's what's going to end up happening. Anything that we talk about today, it's going to get misconstrued in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's why I don't want to get involved. I got other stuff to do, man.
Yeah,
I got fun things to do. Like, life is pretty simple, man. And I know I think you kind of cracked the code. You go to your job, you do the best you can. You go to your job, and maybe you don't like your job that much, but everything leads to something else. You know what I mean? Like wherever you may work out there, you're learning something. You may not realize that, but you're getting something out of it. You're getting life experience that you could apply to something else. And I think life is kind of like a ladder, and you keep trying to climb to greater heights.
Oh yeah,
and then when you're off time, you don't spend your time shitting on other people. You don't spend your time being angry about things or feeling like the world owes you stuff. You spend your time doing something you might enjoy with people that you enjoy being around.
Yeah,
and it's very simple. You don't need millions of dollars, my friends. You don't need to have all the views or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, last time, and like I said, I live by that. The last time I checked, YouTube doesn't sign my checks, so. To me, it doesn't really.
Would you really want? Okay, would you really want them to? Would you want?
No,
them to be your deal?
I personally wouldn't, because I can't deal with that. It's constantly having and like I said, I'm going to give credit where credit is due, and I'll be completely honest with you. I'm very impressed at how successful he has gotten.
Oh, absolutely.
He's a very successful person for what he has done. In the past 5-6 years, and he was a pioneer in the beginning,
Absolutely.
I'm not going to say that he wasn't,
Absolutely.
But I think he's stuck in a rut. There's a lot of Let's Players, and it's hard to compete now unless you do things differently. And I think he's in a really bad spot, and that's why he's trying to reach out to us, but he doesn't know how to reach out. He does it in a negative way, and it really
Just
burns.
too much damage has been done.
Too much damage has been done, and it continues and the damage continues because he doesn't know how to divert the damage.
Yeah.
He just adds to it.
But I do care about him, and I hope he does great things.
Yeah,
I hope he could. If he is in some sort of, I don't really know, honestly. If he's in a tough spot, emotionally or whatever, income-wise, I hope he can turn around. I think he can. I think he can do it.
Yeah. And I just want to throw this out there, and this is for John and myself. This is the last time we're going to address this. I am not going to continue doing this. He says one thing, we say another. I'm not going to do this. Yeah. This is the first and the last time I'm going to address this.
Well,
and that's
for you. I might. We'll see.
Yeah.
But you're done. You're done with it.
I'm pretty much done because it's. You know what?
All right. Here, I'll say this, okay?
Yeah.
I'll say this. So, instead of making a monetized response video or trying to, post something on your forum, or maybe I won't see it or something like that, or trying to make profit off any of this, do what you said you were going to do back in August 2014. Give me an actual call. Give me the call that you promised that you were going to do.
Give both of us the call.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Give the call. I'll be happy to talk to you about whatever you want to talk about. Okay?
Yeah.
And then that's that, man. That's that. And people want to come here and, well, you can come here and do whatever you want, really, because this is a bootleg channel. We put it together. But if you want to shit on me, and if you people out there, if you guys want to shit on me and say like your views are shit or whatever you want to say, man, my channel is me having fun with my friends. I don't put ads on my stuff because I don't have to. I don't ask the audience for anything except to hopefully have a good time and have a great time doing what I do. So please, again, tell me that I'm not successful. Okay? Tell me I'm not successful. Or you could just, do the usual thing and say you're a big-nosed piece of shit. But, that's true. That part is true.
You Jew-nosed bastard.
Whoa. Let's calm down, buddy. Is that the end of this thing, this atrocity?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Do you have any plans for the rest of the day? Maybe make some rant videos about other people out there.
No, I'm going to Bass Pro Shops.
Oh, right on, man.
So,
what are you picking something up?
No, we're just going to go. Yeah, maybe. Jasmine wanted to go because I went there the other day, and apparently you can bring your dog in and take a picture with Santa. Good stuff.
I dig it. You're bringing Lady in?
Yeah, I'm bringing Lady in. She's going to take a picture with Santa.
I want this photo signed by you and the dog. I want the dog's print on the photo.
On a photo? Yeah. Oh, man. All right,
man. I got to move on from this.
Okay.
All right. Adios, everybody.
Yep.